Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast.
Today we are discussing Chapter 36, Chase.
And what a chase it is. We get a moment this chapter, a single line from Luffy that defines everything this crew is about to become.
A declaration of purpose, aimed right at Captain Kuro. It's a thesis statement for the entire series, delivered with the simple clarity only Luffy can manage.
It's the kind of moment that makes you want to follow this crew to the end of the Grand Line. If you feel that too, maybe follow our show wherever you get your podcasts, so we can all see this through together.
Let's dive right in. The chapter opens in the forest, and the situation is grim.
Understatement of the year. Kaya and the Usopp pirates are running for their lives, and Jango is in full pursuit. He doesn't even need to see them.
No, he just sends his weapon, that giant chakram, flying through the trees. It's a hypnotic ring, but here he's using it as a purely destructive tool. It's less of a precision weapon and more of a mobile buzzsaw.
And it just chews through everything. The sound alone must be horrifying. Oda is so good at conveying terror through indirect means. You don't see the blade coming for you. You just see the results. Trees are falling, the ground is being torn up. It's this constant, destructive noise getting closer and closer, telling you there's no escape. It turns the entire forest from a place of refuge into a death trap.
He says he's prepared to destroy the whole forest to find them. It's a terrifying display of power, and it's completely indiscriminate. It speaks to Kuro's personality, or lack thereof. There's no passion in it, no rage. It's just a task to be completed in the most brutally efficient way possible. The forest, the animals, any bystanders, they are all irrelevant variables to be eliminated.
It's the perfect weapon for a manhunt. He's not trying to be precise. He's trying to be inevitable. It's like a force of nature, but a man-made one. You can't outrun an avalanche, and you can't outrun that chakram. He's essentially clear-cutting a path straight to his target. It's a super terrifying thought.
And the echoes of that destruction carry all the way back to the coastline where Usopp can hear it. He can hear the trees falling, and he knows exactly what it means. Every crash is a countdown timer on Kaya's life.
Which just pours salt in the wound for him. Kuro is standing right there, just twisting the knife. He's not even looking at Usopp most of the time. He's just talking, almost to himself, savoring the moment.
His taunts are so cruel and specific. He tells Usopp he has no feelings for Kaya, that she was just a tool for his plan. Kuro is a master of psychological manipulation. He understands that for a person like Usopp, the physical pain is secondary to the emotional agony of failure and helplessness.
He's attacking the very foundation of Usopp's fight. Usopp is fighting for the idea that his friendship with Kaya was real, that the time they spent together meant something, and Kuro is just surgically dismantling that belief piece by piece. He's saying, not only are you going to fail to protect her, but the entire reason you're fighting is a lie you told yourself.
Exactly. And that's why his final words in that speech are so devastating. But if by some chance she lives, I might even thank her. The condescension in that line is palpable. He frames her potential survival not as a victory for Usopp, but as a minor convenience for himself. He reduces her life to a minor footnote in his grand plan.
It's designed to make Usopp feel completely helpless, like everything he's done is a joke. It's the ultimate villain move, making the hero believe their struggle never mattered in the first place.
Kuro is waging psychological warfare. He's trying to shatter Usopp's will before his body completely gives out. He's a planer, after all. He knows the body can't fight if the spirit is broken. He's trying to win the battle without lifting a finger.
But it's Usopp. His will is stronger than his body. He makes a break for it, trying to get to the forest to help them. It's this desperate, ragged scramble. He knows he can't win a fight. He knows he's hurt, but he has to do something. He has to move.
Bucci moves to intercept, but Zoro is right there to block the path. We get a great sense of Zoro's resolve. His swords crossed, that determined look on his face. He's not letting anyone else touch Usopp. His role in this fight has become purely defensive. He is Usopp's shield.
Zoro is holding Bucci off, but the real tragedy is Usopp. He takes a few steps and just collapses. The way he falls is just heartbreaking. He's face down in the dirt, completely spent. His body is finally cashed a check his spirit can't cover.
The spirit is willing, but the body has reached its limit. We've seen him take an incredible amount of punishment throughout this fight. It's a realistic depiction of what happens when a normal person pushes themselves far beyond their physical breaking point. He's not a monster like Luffy or Zoro. He's just a man.
And Kuro just laughs. That laugh is colder than anything Aokiji could ever do. It's not a laugh of joy or victory, it's pure contempt. It's the sound of someone looking at an insect they've just stepped on.
For Kuro, this is proof that Usopp's efforts were pointless. A weak man trying to be a hero and failing. It validates his entire worldview, that the weak exist only to be used and discarded by the strong and intelligent. Usopp's failure is, in Kuro's mind, the natural order of the world reasserting itself.
But Usopp's inner monologue there, I know I can't win. He's not delusional. He knows he's outmatched, but he follows it up with, but I have to fight. That's the core of it right there. That's the heart of a warrior. A real warrior isn't someone who never loses. It's someone who fights even when they know they can't win, because what they're protecting is more important than their own victory.
It is. It's the bravest we have ever seen him. He's accepted his own weakness and chosen to fight anyway. This is a recurring theme for Usopp throughout the entire story. This moment in Syrup Village is the blueprint for his character arc. He is defined not by his strength, but by his courage in the face of his own perceived cowardice.
The other Black Cat pirates start mocking him, kicking him while he's down, and that's the line. That's the point of no return. You don't do that in front of Monkey D. Luffy. You can fight his friends, you can even beat his friends, but you do not mock their struggle. You do not disrespect their will.
And he responds in the most Luffy way possible. Not with a clever retort, not with a grand speech, but with a giant boulder. He just rips a piece of the cliffside off and hurls it at them.
Straight to the face. He just shuts them up instantly. You can almost hear him thinking, stop talking to my friend like that. It's so simple and so effective. Kuro is playing 4D chess with his psychological taunts, and Luffy just flips the whole board over. There's no room for that kind of cruelty in his world.
That seems to be the turning point for Zoro as well. He sees Usopp on the ground being kicked. He sees Luffy's unambiguous response. The tenor of the fight changes. Bucci manages to toss him aside one more time.
And Zoro is just done. The look on his face is pure focus. The time for games is over. He'd been holding back, maybe testing them, maybe even enjoying the fight a little. He's a swordsman. He likes a good scrap. But now he's just ending it. This has ceased to be a duel and has become an execution.
It's not even a struggle. He gets into his Santorio stance and the Neonbon brothers are still talking trash, but it's already over. One clean, decisive onigiri. Bucci goes down and he is not getting back up. The whole sequence conveys the speed and finality of it perfectly.
That's the swordsman we've been waiting to see. No wasted motion, just a problem that needed solving so he could move on to the real objective. He could have ended this fight at any time, but his friend's honor being insulted was the trigger. That's our Zoro.
And he does. He immediately grabs Usopp, gets him on his shoulder, and says they're going after Kaya. He doesn't wait for orders. He assesses the situation, identifies the most critical task, and acts.
The teamwork, it's finally clicking. It's not three strong guys fighting near each other anymore. It's a unit. Zoro knows he's the muscle, and Usopp is the one they're fighting for right now. He's also the navigator for this specific mission, the one who knows the island. Zoro is physically carrying his weakness while relying on his strength, his knowledge. It's a perfect metaphor.
Of course, Captain Kuro isn't just going to let them walk off the battlefield. He's a man obsessed with his plan, and two key variables are trying to escape. He moves to stop them, and his speed is frantic. You can tell this is different.
But a certain straw-hatted captain has other plans. Luffy's leg shoots out, a Gomu Gomu whip, cutting Kuro completely off. He creates a literal barrier between the villain and his friends.
The look on Luffy's face is pure determination. He's not smiling his usual goofy smile. His brow is furrowed. His teeth are gritted. He just says, "They're going." It's not a request. It's a statement of fact, a declaration of reality as Luffy sees it.
But Kuro is fast, though. He dodges the kick, and you can tell right away that his speed is on another level. This isn't like fighting Morgan or Buggy. This guy is a legitimate threat. Luffy's kick, which has been a reliable attack so far, misses entirely.
This is the first time we've seen an opponent who can casually evade Luffy's gum-gum attacks through sheer speed alone. It immediately establishes a new level of power scaling for the East Boo. Kuro isn't a joke villain. He's a serious danger.
They exchange a flurry of attacks, and it's clear Kuro has now shifted his entire focus. Zoro and Usopp are irrelevant to him now. Luffy is the one in his way, the obstacle to his perfect, peaceful retirement.
And he asks the big question, the one a villain like him would always ask. Why are you doing this? You're an outsider. This village means nothing to you. He's genuinely confused. It doesn't compute with his logic.
Because in his mind, every action has to have a selfish motive. You fight for treasure, for fame, for power, or in his case, for a quiet life. The idea of fighting with everything you have for someone else, someone you've known for a day, it's completely alien to him.
He fundamentally misunderstands Luffy's motivation. He thinks it has to be about territory or money or some grand selfish plan like his own. He's trying to find the angle, the logical reason, but there isn't one that fits into his sociopathic framework.
And Luffy's answer is so simple, it probably broke Kuro's brain. He doesn't say, for justice, or to protect the innocent, or because you're a bad guy. He doesn't give some big shonen speech.
He just says, there's someone in this village I won't let die.
Super. That is it. That is the entire ethos of the Straw Hat Pirates, codified in a single sentence before the crew is even fully formed. It's not about the place. It's not about the island or the country. It's about the person. It's about Usopp.
This is the moment their bond solidifies. Luffy isn't just an acquaintance helping out a friend. He's declaring Usopp as someone under his protection, someone he will risk his life for. This is Luffy's version of a formal alliance, of a sworn oath of brotherhood. It's not spoken in a grand hall with fancy words. It's spoken on a battlefield, covered in dirt and blood.
And he doesn't even say his name. He just says someone. He doesn't need to. Everyone there knows exactly who he's talking about, but the statement is bigger than just Usopp. It's a promise. If you are my friend, if you are one of my people, I will not let you die. It's the promise he makes to every single person who joins his crew.
It's also a powerful counterpoint to Kuro's philosophy. Kuro's plan involved the death of everyone who knew him, sacrificing people for his own peace. Luffy's entire motivation is the opposite. He will sacrifice his own peace, his own safety, to prevent the death of one person he cares about. It's the ultimate ideological clash.
And for a lonely kid who grew up telling lies for attention, can you imagine what that means? To have someone like Luffy stand up and say, your life is worth fighting for. It's everything. It's the reason Usopp will follow him to the ends of the earth. He's never had that before. His dad left, his mom passed away. He's been on his own. This is the moment he finds a family.
It's the ultimate validation of Usopp's courage. The courage he wasn't even sure he had. Luffy's statement isn't pitying. It's a statement of respect. He's not saving a weakling. He's fighting for a friend who fought until he couldn't stand. Luffy saw Usopp's heart, and that was all the reason he needed.
Meanwhile, the guy who just had his back is now completely, utterly lost in the woods.
It's such a perfect cut. From this incredibly profound, emotional declaration of loyalty to Zoro having no idea where he's going. The total shift is whiplash-inducing, and it is brilliant.
He's literally carrying the guy who can give him directions, and he's still failing. Usopp is probably pointing and shouting, that way, the trees are falling over there. And Zoro's just confidently jogging into a tree. You can imagine the conversation. Zoro, left, and he just takes a hard right. No, your other left. It's the first major showcase of his legendary bad sense of direction, and it's hilarious. Oda knows exactly when to release the tension. We've just had this incredibly heavy, emotional climax, and now we're reminded that these legendary heroes are also complete goofballs. It grounds them and makes them more lovable. It's not just a gag either. It speaks to Zoro's single-mindedness. He's focused on the goal, getting to the fight, but completely oblivious to the path.
It reminds me of Oda's author comment for this chapter.
Oh, right.
He said, "Thank you for sending me all the One Piece cosplay pictures. If I did it, I'd be a fabulous Nami. Yikes."
See, even the author knows you need a good laugh in the middle of all this danger. Oda as Nami? I'm not sure the world is ready for that. But it's that same energy. He builds this epic drama and then immediately undercuts it with something absurd, either in the story or in the author's notes. It's part of the charm.
I'm not sure he is. But the laughter stops pretty quickly because we cut back to Kaya.
Yeah, the situation there has gone from bad to worse. She's not a fighter. She's been running on pure adrenaline, and now her body is shutting down. All the running and the stress is causing her illness to flare up. She's got a fever and she can barely stand.
It adds another layer to the tragedy of her character. She has spent years locked in her room, being told she is frail and weak, being slowly poisoned. The one time she acts with her own agency, to run and to fight for her village, her own body betrays her.
And in a moment of selflessness, she tells the Usopp pirates to leave her, to save themselves. She knows she's the target. She understands that she is slowing them down and endangering their lives. It's a heartbreaking but incredibly brave decision.
But they won't do it. These little kids, who have every reason to be terrified, stand their ground. Carrot, pepper, and onion, they draw their makeshift weapons, a frying pan, a shovel, a stick, and they form a line in front of her. They tell her they can't obey that order.
Their captain's orders were to protect her, and they are following the spirit of that order even if it means disobeying her directly. It's such a powerful moment of loyalty. These kids are ready to go down with the ship, protecting their friend.
It's a direct reflection of Usopp's influence. He might tell tall tales, but the bravery he pretends to have, he's actually instilled it in them. They are living out the fantasy he created. He told them stories of a brave pirate captain and his fearless crew, and now they are becoming that crew. They are being brave, for real, right now. This is his inherited will.
It's a testament to the power of stories. Usopp's lies weren't just lies, they were aspirations, and these kids are aspiring to be the heroes he described. It's beautiful.
And then Jango steps out of the trees. The atmosphere is so menacing. He emerges from the shadows, adjusting his glasses, that predatory grin on his face. The chase is over.
And the fight is about to begin. What a cliffhanger. 3 kids with kitchen utensils and a sick young woman against a pirate hypnotist with a blade that can cut down a forest.
The odds are not in their favor. It's an impossible situation. We have 3 fronts now. Luffy is locked in a battle with a man who might be too fast for him to hit. Zoro and Usopp are lost somewhere in the woods, running in circles. And Kaya's last line of defense is a trio of children.
Things are looking bleak all around. It's going to be a long week waiting for the next chapter. Oda is a master of the multi-front cliffhanger, making you desperate to know what happens next in 3 different places at once.
We see so many characters standing up for each other in this chapter. Usopp for Kaya, Zoro for Usopp, Luffy for Usopp, the kids for Kaya. It's a web of loyalty. If you have a favorite moment of one Straw Hat fighting for another, let us know in the comments. Now, shall we move on to predictions?
Let's do it. What do you think happens next? I feel like there's no way these kids can win, but they have to hold out long enough for help to arrive.
I agree. My first prediction concerns Kaya. I think she's going to be the one to counter Jango initially. He's going to try and hypnotize everyone with his 1-2 Jango command, expecting them all to fall asleep. But because of her high fever and weakened, delirious state, it might not work on her properly. Her mind is already in an altered state, so the hypnosis might fail, leaving her as the only one left standing with a clear head, even if her body can't fight.
Oh, I like that. Using her weakness as a strength. That's a classic Oda twist. Okay, I'll go next. I predict that Usopp is going to have his big moment against Jango. Zoro will get them there, and he'll be busy fighting off any fodder or maybe even Jango himself up close. But it'll be Usopp, maybe even still on Zoro's shoulders, who lands the crucial shot. He'll use something clever, not powerful. A smoke star to obscure Jango's vision right as he tries to swing his chakram, causing him to get it stuck in a tree. It won't be a knockout, but it will be a turning point that only Usopp could have created.
A classic Usopp move, winning with wits instead of power. For my second prediction, I think we're going to get the first real glimpse of Kuro's signature technique. He's been shown to be fast, but I believe he's going to move so fast that he literally vanishes from sight. Luffy will be swinging at him, and suddenly Kuro will be gone, only to reappear behind him. We won't understand how he does it yet, it's not like anything we've seen, but it will establish the true, almost supernatural threat he poses, and put Luffy on the back foot completely.
Bro, that's a good one. A move so fast it looks like teleportation. That's a real captain-level threat. For my final prediction, I think Zoro's bad sense of direction is going to accidentally save the day. He's going to get so turned around trying to find the sound of the fight that he ends up coming at Jango from a completely unexpected angle, from behind him, right when he has the kids cornered. He'll succeed because he failed at navigation. It'll be a total accident, and he'll probably act like he meant to do it all along.
That seems almost guaranteed to happen at some point in his life. A perfect fusion of his character flaw and his heroic nature.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for this chapter. What a ride. From psychological torture to the core thesis of the crew, with a dash of getting lost. This is One Piece, baby.
It truly is. Join us next time as we dive into Chapter 37. Until then, keep an eye on the dawn.